Hey folks, I stumbled across a video this morning. It was an interview between a law student, I believe at Georgetown University, and a senator from Texas by the name of Ted Cruz. The interview looks like it's taking place as they're walking. The law student appears to be holding the phone, and he's asking Cruz about this new idea, this new motion that apparently is being brought forward to add 4 seats, 4 justices to the Supreme Court of the United States. And as they're talking about the constitutionality of it, they're talking about the legal aspects of it, they're talking about the tradition of it. And when this student brings something up, Cruz has an answer. And when the student brings something else up, Cruz has another answer. And they're going back and forth. It seems respectable, it seems respectful, and they're having a pretty decent conversation. And then Cruz does something that I'm not used to him doing. He says something that makes a lot of sense to me. What he says is this. He says, listen, if the Democrats add 4 seats, the next time a Republican is in power, they're going to add 4 seats, and so on and so on and so on. And nobody wants to have 35 Supreme Court justices. He's making a wonderful point here. He's making an absolutely wonderful point. Now, I'm not going to tell you that he's right, that if the Democrats add 4, the next time the Republicans are in power, they're going to add 4, and then the next time the Democrats are in power, they're going to add 4. I'm not going to tell you it's going to happen like that in some sort of cascading motion. I can't predict the future. But the point he's making here is incredibly valuable for us. What he's saying, maybe without even knowing that he's saying it, is that the way things work in his world is that when one person does something, it gives license to others to do the same thing. When one group does something, it gives license to others to do the same thing. When one political party does something, it gives license to the other political party to do the same thing. This mentality, by the way, is not at all a godly mentality. For these people of power who call themselves Christians, this is not how we're to conduct ourselves. Christians are not supposed to look at other people and say, well, they did it, I can do it. Christians, people who follow Christ, are supposed to follow Christ every day, all the time, in every situation and circumstance. We are supposed to behave, react, respond as Jesus would behave, react, and respond. If we see the political opposition doing something and we think it's wrong, when it comes our turn, we shouldn't do the same thing. It's still wrong. We're to follow Jesus in that moment, not the other person. And yet that's what Ted Cruz is describing. He's describing a political reality where the players follow one another. They follow the opposition. If one person does it, the other person feels that they are licensed to do it. If one party does it, the other party feels that they are now licensed to do it. We're called to follow Christ every day, all the time, in every situation and circumstance. We are not supposed to follow the other person. We are not supposed to follow the other party. What is good for the goose is not necessarily good for the gander. Or what is good for the gander is not necessarily good for the goose. It doesn't work that way. That is a spiral into hell. That is no way to run a country. And the truth is, this isn't just a New Testament command. This is God's command throughout the Old Testament. I am your God. Follow me. Do as I say. Do what I tell you to do. Do what I ask you to do. Do what I call you to do. Follow me. You are not to follow the ways of others. You are to follow me. I will show you the right way. I will offer you the right way. Don't follow them, follow me. My dad, when I was a kid, I would come and ask him, can I do this, or can I do that, or can I have this, or can I have that? And he said, well, why didn't you want my friends do it? My friends have it. Well, if your friends jumped off the bridge, would you go too? Never really knew how to answer that. But he's right. Just because somebody else does something doesn't make it right for me. Doesn't make it right for you. We're called to do the right thing. We're called to follow Christ. We're not called to follow the opposition. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that you and I will fix our eyes on the one we are supposed to follow. That we won't worry about what the other person does. We won't worry about what the other side does. We won't worry about what the other group, organization, or party does. We will do what we are supposed to do by watching the one we follow. Amen.